Welcome to section 17.1, part 1. This is the 173rd session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll learn how to manage a security incident from the moment it surfaces. We'll answer several questions. What actually counts as an incident? What are the phases of incident management? And why is counterattacking off the table? How do you detect a possible incident? And who responds first? And once an incident is confirmed, what does a real response look like? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because incidents are not a maybe, they are a when. Picture a payments company that spots strange outbound traffic from a database at 2 a.m. The difference between a minor scare and a headline breach is how fast and how cleanly your team reacts. On the job, you are the person who decides whether that alert is noise or the first thread of a live attack. So what actually counts as an incident? In the broadest sense, an incident is any event that harms the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of your assets. That wide net includes storms, cut cables, and honest accidents. But in this discipline, we care about the narrower version, the computer security incident. That means harm caused by an attack or by malicious, deliberate, or careless human action. Think of a fire alarm. It can trip for a real blaze or for burnt toast, but here we focus on the fire that someone actually set. How do organizations pin down that definition in practice? They write it into their security policy or their incident management plan. The definition is usually short, then backed by concrete examples. A team might classify any attempted network intrusion, any denial of service attempt, any malware detection, any unauthorized data access, or any policy violation as an incident. Newer lists also flag things like compromised AI agents, spreading false information, or live adversarial attacks against production machine learning models. Naming these examples up front means nobody has to guess in the heat of the moment. What are the phases of managing an incident? The certification lays out 7 ordered steps: detection, response, mitigation, reporting, recovery, remediation, and lessons learned. Treat this as a loop, not a straight line, because what you learn at the end feeds better detection at the start. You may see other frameworks compress these into 4 phases, but the elements and the goal are the same. Picture a pit crew running a fixed, rehearsed sequence every single stop. Why is counterattacking never part of the plan? Because striking back is counterproductive and often illegal. If you hack the source, you likely hit an innocent victim, since attackers hide behind spoofed addresses and hijack machines in a botnet. And if you do reach the real attacker, you have just made it personal and invited a grudge campaign. Think of a burglar who fled through 3 neighbors' yards. Firing blindly into those yards only harms the neighbors. You call the professionals and preserve the scene instead. How do you detect a possible incident? Your environment offers several signals. Intrusion detection and prevention systems raise alerts when they see suspicious behavior. Anti-malware tools pop up when they catch malicious code. Automated log scanners flag predefined events like the sudden use of special privileges. And ordinary users report trouble, such as a resource they suddenly cannot reach. The catch is that an alert is not proof. Detection systems throw false alarms, and users make simple mistakes, so every signal has to be investigated. Who is the first person on the scene? That role is the first responder. These IT professionals arrive first and can tell a routine glitch apart from a genuine security incident. Compare them to medical first responders at a crash. Their training lets them separate a scratch from a life-threatening injury and act accordingly. In the same way, your responders need specific training to know when to troubleshoot quietly and when to escalate loudly. Once an event is confirmed as an incident, they escalate and move to the response stage. What does response actually involve? Response scales to the severity of the incident. For a major event, many organizations activate a dedicated incident response team, and a formal plan spells out exactly who calls that team in and when. These trained members investigate, contain, and assess the damage, gather evidence, report, and drive recovery. They also help with root cause analysis and lessons learned. Think of them as a rehearsed emergency crew who show up for the big fires, not the burnt toast. Why does speed matter so much during response? Because time is the attacker's biggest ally. Imagine an intruder pulling records from a customer database. Cut them off in minutes, and they leave with almost nothing. Give them hours or days of quiet access, and they walk away with the entire table. A fast, clean response is the single strongest lever you have to shrink the damage. How do you handle evidence? And what must you never do? Treat everything as potential evidence, because management may decide to prosecute. If prosecution is even possible, protect the data so it holds up in court. And here is a rule that trips people up. Do not power off a compromised machine while containing it. Volatile memory and temporary files vanish the instant the system loses power. Forensic tools can recover that live data, but only while the machine stays running. Pulling the plug destroys the very proof you need. So let's bring it together. An incident, in our world, is harm from an attack or human action. And organizations define it clearly in advance. Management follows 7 ordered, repeating steps and never includes striking back. Detection comes from tools and users, but every signal needs a first responder to verify it. Response scales with severity, moves fast, and protects volatile evidence by keeping systems powered on. Master this front half of the life cycle, and the containment and recovery steps will slot right in. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.